Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're heading out a bit, away from the usual Tokyo hotspots. We're digging into Edogawa Ward.
Yeah, an area maybe not first on everyone's list for ancient history, but it's packed with it.
Exactly. Our mission is to uncover some really surprising historical nuggets, specifically around the place once called Kamamoto Miura.
Right, Kamamoto Miura. It wasn't around for long, maybe 40 years, 1889 to 1932.
Just a blip, administratively speaking.
A blip, yeah. It got absorbed into Tokyo City, Edogawa Ward. And the name itself, Kamamoto, was kind of a mashup.
A composite, right, from the older villages it included.
That's it. It took characters from Hei, Shishibone, Matsumoto, and Ike Kamamoto.
So our goal is to get past that 1889 label and find the deeper stories, the things you can still see.
Absolutely. We're looking for where, ancient myths and local power structures are actually physically preserved.
Yeah.
Places you can visit.
We're talking hidden gems today, like finding the exact spot where a divine deer died over 1,200 years ago, or checking out a village head's house with a moat.
And maybe my favorite, a tiny shrine built for a stone mortar.
Because a shogun sat on it. It's just incredible layering.
It really is.
Okay, let's unpack the most unique name first. Shishibone. That means deer bone. It just screams history, doesn't it?
It really does. And it's not just local history. This name connects Edogawa to some of the most important spiritual sites in Japan. We need to go way back. Nara, period.
768 CE, is that right?
Spot on, 768. This area was, well, it was basically on the route for something huge happening.
The Kanshu, inviting the god from Kashima Jingu all the way to Nara.
Precisely. The great Shikami, the deity of Kashima Shrine in modern Ibaraki, was being ceremonially invited to the brand new Kasuga Tashisha Shrine in Nara. A massive undertaking.
And the legend says the spirit traveled on a deer.
On a sacred white deer, yes.
Yeah.
Leading a whole procession of other deer in attendance. Think about that journey. Kashima to Nara.
That's a long way. Hundreds of kilometers.
It's about 582 kilometers, and the records suggest it took them an entire year.
A year. Wow. So like less than 2 kilometers a day.
Something like that, yeah. 1.59 kilometers a day on average. It shows the incredible reverence, the ritual nature of it, but also how tough travel was.
Definitely. So this slow, sacred journey is happening.
And somewhere along this incredibly long, difficult path, right here in what would become Shishibone, the main divine deer, the white one carrying the spirit, it fell ill.
Yeah.
And it died.
Right there on that land.
Right there. And the local villagers witnessing this, well, they saw it as a profound event, a direct, miraculous connection, as they put it.
A connection to Kashima and the new Kasuga Shrine in Nara.
Exactly. Two major centers of power and spirituality. So they didn't just dispose of the deer, they respectfully buried it.
And they made a memorial?
They built a mound called the Shikami-zuka, the deer viewing mound. And that act, that burial, that mound, that's the origin of the name. Shishibone.
Deer bone. That is amazing. And for listeners who love tracking down these physical links to the past, this is a real hidden gem, isn't it?
It absolutely is. You can still visit the spot. It's the EC&E Shikami-zuka Shrine. It's tiny, easily missed, tucked away in Shishibone 3 comb.
Near the Shishibone Greenway, I think.
That's the one. And inside there's a stone monument. Marks the birthplace of Shishibone. It's quiet, but you feel that history.
And there's another shrine nearby connected to this.
Yes, the main village shrine, the Shishibone Kashima Shrine. It explicitly honors that connection. Even have a statue of the divine deer. Really cements that link back to Kashima.
Incredible. So that's how myth shapes a place name. But how does that ancient connection, that reverence for the land, translate into, well, actual power later on, say in the Edo period?
Okay, good transition. Yeah, we move from divine animals to powerful local families. We need to talk about the nanushi.
The village headman, right, the local administrator for the shogunate.
Exactly. And a prime example is the Tajima family. The residence, the Shishino Ichino Nanushi Yashiki, tells a fascinating story about rural power.
How did the Tajimas get so prominent?
Land. Specifically, Shinden. Developing new rice paddies. That was the path to wealth and status for non-samurai in the Edo period.
More land, more rice, more influence.
You got it. Success in Shinden projects meant wealth and, crucially, recognition from the shogunate that elevated families like the Tajima to the top tier of local elites.
And their house shows it. I heard it's quite something. Rebuilt in the 1770s.
Yeah, mid-Edo. And it's definitely not your average farmhouse. It's described as having a medieval gentry style.
what does that mean in practice? What would you see there?
Well, when you visit the Ichino Nanushi Yashiki today, it's in Harucho, by the way, you see this projection of power. Big thatched roof, sure, but also a massive Nagayama, a long formal gatehouse.
Okay, a fancy gate.
Very fancy.
Hmm.
But the real kicker, a moat.
Mm-hmm.
The dense surrounding woodland, the Yashiki Bayashi.
Wait, a moat for a village head, not a samurai lord. That seems pointed.
Exactly. It was absolutely a conscious choice. Moats, big gates, those are typically symbols of samurai residences, minor fortifications even.
So the Tajimas were sort of borrowing samurai status symbols.
Pretty much. It was a visual statement. We may not be samurai, but look at our wealth, our contribution, our standing. It wasn't really for defense. It was about showing their authority, earned through agriculture and land management. It's a living museum of that specific class power.
That's fascinating. A non-samurai with a moat. Okay, so we have local power making big statements. What happens when that local world bumps up against the ultimate power, the shogun himself?
Right, let's zoom in on a really specific, almost intimate story. This involves Tokugawa Yoshimune.
The 8th shogun, known for being frugal, right? The reformer.
That's him. So it's 1717. Yoshimune is out doing what shoguns did falconry, kind of a mix of sport and keeping an eye on the territory.
Surveying his domain.
Basically. And he stops for rest in Higashi-Komokome, at the house of a farmer, an ordinary farmer named Ichikawa Kazaemon.
Okay, shogun stalks by. What happens?
Well, Yoshimune, maybe being frugal or just practical, doesn't ask for a fancy chair or anything. He just sits down on a stone mortar and shoes.
Like the kind you use in the kitchen for pounding rice.
Exactly. Just a common, everyday object. For the shogun, probably a fleeting moment, forgettable.
But not for the farmer.
Not at all. For the Ichikawa family, this was monumental. The shogun sat here on this mortar.
So what do? You can't just go back to pounding rice on the shogun's seat.
Precisely. They immediately designated it a sacred object, a family treasure, and they didn't just put it aside. They built a small shrine for it.
A shrine for the mortar.
Yep. It's called the Usu no Miya, the mortar shrine.
That's incredible. And it's not some official monument, right? It's purely private.
That's what makes it so special. It's this intensely personal act of reverence passed down through generations of the Ichikawa family. It really shows the popular awe and respect the shogun commanded.
Can people actually see this?
It's tricky. Because it is still private property maintained by the family, you need to make prior arrangements. It's not just open to the public. Makes it a very rare find, a real deep cut for history buffs.
Wow. Okay, so we've had the deer myth, the gentry's moated house, the shogun's mortar. Let's shift to something you definitely can see, something huge, the giant pine tree.
Ah, yes, the Uchi Yuche no Matsu, the pine of divine manifestation at Zenyoji Temple.
This thing is famous, right? Ancient.
Oh, yeah. It's a Japanese black pine, estimated over 600 years old. And its size, it's just staggering.
Often called Japan's largest. Not tallest, but widest.
Exactly. Based on its spread, it goes something like 31 meters east to west and 28 meters north to south. It basically covers an entire courtyard. It's immense.
And the name Yugo no Matsu, divine manifestation. There's got to be a story there, too.
Of course. Like everything else here, the legend goes that a thief tried to steal a Buddhist statue from the temple. But as he tried to escape, he passed under the pine tree. And supposedly, the power from the Yugo no Ishi, the manifestation stone beneath the tree, it froze him in place.
Immobilized him.
Couldn't move a muscle, the story says, until he repented his crime.
So the tree isn't just big, it's seen as a kind of spiritual guardian.
Precisely. A moral force for the community, protecting the temple, embodying that divine presence. It's both a natural wonder and a spiritual landmark.
Okay, so we've layered all these stories. The ancient deer, the powerful village head, the shogun's brief rest, this guardian pine. How do these different threads kind of weave together? What does it tell us about the identity of this place, this former Kamamoto area?
Well, I think it shows that those administrative lines drawn on a map, like creating Kamamoto-mura in 1889 or dissolving it in 1932, they're kind of superficial in a way.
Compared to the older identities.
Exactly. The deep-rooted identities of the original villages, Shishibone and Motoishiki, they persisted. And you can still see that persistence today, especially in their local shrines.
Right. Let's take Shishibone. How did its identity stay strong?
Through its main shrine, the Kashima Shrine. Interestingly, it was originally called Goshishin Miyasha.
Goshin Meisha. 5 shrine.
Yeah, Ga means 5. It was founded by literally merging the guardian spirits, the Ujigami, of the 5 key founding families of Shishibone.
Which families were those?
The records mention the Ichi family, actually two branches of them, the Tajima family.
Ah, the ones with the moat.
The very same.
Yeah.
And the Makino and Nakai families. So the shrine itself is like a spiritual charter of the village's founding clans.
So the shrine embodies the village's social and political structure from the beginning.
Precisely. It's a living monument to who founded Shishibone and how they saw their community. That identity is baked right into the shrine's history.
And what about Hanishiki, the other main village merged into Kumamoto?
Similar story, different shrine. Their community identity revolved around the Ten's shrine. That was their center, their protector.
And even though Hanishiki isn't an official address anymore,
the Tenzu shrine is still there. It still serves that specific community, holds its festivals, preserves its unique traditions. It proves that these local loyalties, these spiritual anchors, they outlasted the administrative changes.
it really paints a picture of Edogawa not just as a ward, but as this collection of deeply historical micro-communities.
That's a great way to put it.
We've covered so much ground, from that 1,200-year-old divine deer connection to Kashima and Nara,
to the very tangible power symbols of the Nanushi's moated house.
and down to that incredibly personal story of the shogun resting on a simple stone mortar.
Yeah, these small local sites, the Shishimi-zuka mound, the Nanushi Yashiki, the Usunomiya, the ancient pine, they remind us that big national history often happens, or is remembered, in these really unassuming places.
Places easily overlooked in a giant city like Tokyo.
Absolutely. They show that national heritage, what we think of as history, is often built from these intensely local stories and sites that communities themselves cherished and preserved.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, our listener. If a humble stone mortar, just by being sat on once by a shogun, could become sacred to a family for over 300 years, what seemingly ordinary things in your neighborhood might be holding on to centuries of history?
Yet what tiny, maybe even private shrines or markers are you walking past every day? The ones only the longtime local families really know the story behind.
Maybe next time you're out exploring your own area, grab a map from the local historical society. You might be surprised what hidden gems, what specific treasure maps to the past are waiting right around the corner.